That I think can deliver a great message. So our first speaker today, we're going to have 5. Our first speaker today is Howie Nestel. Howie has his own marketing company. So as an entrepreneur, and a successful one at that, he realizes how important it is to have and maintain a positive attitude, because it's so easy to be negative, right? So easy. It takes strength to stay positive. So Howie's going to come up, and I'm really excited and looking forward to hearing Howie's message. He has an incredible marketing company, so please welcome Howie Nestel.
Thank you, Jonathan. And thanks for the setup. I don't know if you know this, but you set me up pretty well, because some of the things that you mentioned are things I'm going to talk about. But not before I get a group photograph. Everybody can please give me a quick smile. Uno, dos, y. All right, perfect. Thank you. So can you all hear me okay without the microphone, or should I use the microphone? Better or better? 1 or 2? Mic with the mic. With the mic? Okay, we'll do the mic, but I'm going to take the mic stand off. So anyway, as Jonathan mentioned, my name is Howie Nestel. Just get a little bit of the business stuff out of the way. I do own an advertising agency. It's not really what defines me, but it is what I do for a living. I have a wife and 3 kids, and I've been in marketing now for about 25 years. So I like to say, before Al Gore invented the internet, we were already in marketing, but we were doing logos by hand and drawing things and going and getting things printed out at these very expensive print shops. And then lo and behold, the internet gets invented, becomes popular, and now my agency has completed a little over 800 websites. We do marketing for Methodist, Brake Check, Wash Tub, other companies you may have heard of, a lot that you have not heard of. And most of my employees get younger and younger every few years, and I get older and older. So I'm 52, most of my employees are in their early to mid-20s, and I can tell you that they know a lot more about digital design and execution than I do. But I have the foundation of what marketing should be and what it should accomplish. So it's a nice synergy between, you know, the old school guy and then all the young schoolers, and that's what we do for a living. But that's not really what makes me happy and what gives me my lasting passion in life. I would say that if I achieve one goal with you guys this morning, is that I help you define what success might mean to you. Jonathan said, you know, we live in a great country, we should be thankful for living here, and I agree with him. I mean, we all drove here in cars that we didn't have to build. We drove on roads that we didn't have to pave. We slept in a house last night that we didn't have to construct. We prepared food that we didn't have to grow. And that's very different than the rest of the world lives. And so when I think about, you know, you mentioned the word success in my successful marketing company, you'd be half right. I feel successful, but it has very little to do with how much work we've done or how much money my company might make or not make. It has more to do with how I define success early in my life, whether or not I achieved all of the things that I've set out to achieve. I would say to you that even though I'm in an industry that helps you define success in a way that I feel like you shouldn't define it in, because we talked about that, I'm in advertising. So I create marketing and advertising that puts ideas in your head that makes you feel like that's the only definition of success. It's to buy a $50,000 or $80,000 or $100,000 car, to buy a $500,000 home, etc. So for that, I apologize, but it's not all my responsibility. I want you guys to figure out and define what success means to you. If you find what success means to you and what you're passionate about, then you will ultimately be happy. So if I could help you with then a second thing today, one will be to define success and how you define success, and then ultimately what makes you happy. I think if you ask most people in this country, I don't know that anybody's ecstatic or really happy or really feels successful. And it's unfortunate, because we have more tools and resources at our disposal that than most of the people in the rest of the world do. And so I think about this and have thought about this for more than 25 years. I listen to guys like Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn and so many other inspirational, motivational speakers. A guy named Les Brown, who I think Jonathan just saw recently in Pilar. I mean, just all these people, and I boiled it down to a few things. So these are the lessons that I learned. I'm going to share them with you. Hopefully they make the same impact in your life as they made in mine. And one is, happiness equals progress. It's so easy. There's two words and one symbol. So what does that mean, happiness equals progress? Most people think, well, happiness is when I buy a brand new Mercedes, when I put the last kid through college, when I pay off the mortgage, when I retire, I'll live happily ever after. All the pieces of my life will come together like a completed jigsaw puzzle. Well, I'm here to tell you there is no one place to arrive at once and for all. It's really the journey. But it's not just the journey, it's the journey of making progress is what will ultimately give you happiness. So if you think right now, I want each of you to think about one thing in your life that you're happy about. It might be your physique, it might be your bank account, it might be your level of education. What's one thing in your life that you really are, I'm not saying satisfied because it's the ultimate goal. You might be that, but it's just something that you could say, you know what? I'm good there. I'm happy with where I am in this one thing in my life. Just think about that for a second. Now, the reason why you're happy with that is because it matches the blueprint that you've always had in your head, or story if you will, of what that might look like. So if it's body type, for example, I 3.5, 4 years ago, I weighed 237 pounds, or as I like to say, I was 237 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. But I was pretty heavy, 237. I'm at 194 right now. And so I'm good. I'm happy. Is it my ideal weight according to BMI? According to that scale, I'm probably still obese. But anyway, but I'm happy, like I'm good. And you know, even my wife's like, "You're too skinny. You should put on some weight." Last night we had tamales, pozole, this. I'm like, you know. But I'm happy with that. So it matches the blueprint or the story that I've always had in my head. I had a body type that I imagined myself looking like. And now that I'm sort of there in that general vicinity, I'm happy and I'm good. So what that means is it matches what I've always had in my head. You guys all have an idea of what success looks like in your head to you. If you're not happy, it's because not only are you not there, but it's also because you might feel that you're not making progress there. So I've been happy all along, but I was not really happy at my 237 pounds of weight. But as soon as I lost 3 pounds, then 4 pounds, then 5 pounds, even though I wasn't at 194, I was already happy. Why? Because I'm making progress. So one thing I want you to remember today is happiness equals progress. In whatever you want, you have an idea of what success is going to look like. You focus on the outcome. And then you don't focus on the process of getting there because you're enjoying the ride. Just like life, you're enjoying it. So you're going to be happy as long as you're making progress. Those of you who went to high school, then went to college, then got, let's say an associate's degree, and then a bachelor's degree, and then a master's degree, you're pretty happy because you're making progress. Did you already have your master's? No, you started at one point. But as you're making progress, you were definitely happy. So keep that in mind as you go through life. Happiness equals progress. That's number one. Number two, success. Very important for you to define success and what that means in all areas of your life. In weight, in finances, in relationships. You have to define what success is, because I promise you that if you don't define it, you will never get it. Because you don't know to recognize when you actually get it, because you never defined it to begin with. So I defined success very early on in life, and what things I would accept and what things I would not accept as either successes or failures. And I work towards those. And I can tell you that it's more than just goal setting. You can achieve a goal and you can be happy about achieving a goal, but you're only going to be happy for a few weeks or a few months or maybe a year. And then you're going to be, well, what's the next goal? Well, what's the next goal? And if you, it's like jumping on these lily pads. Eventually you're going to fall off of one of them, you know, well, not you, but a frog, okay, let's say, because yeah, I'd sink the first one. But, you know, it's like jumping from little thing to little thing. If you set all these goals, you'll never ultimately be happy because you're just busy and you want to get to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. You define success and you accept nothing less than that. And you work towards getting it. So if I define success only in material things, then I should tell you I should be extremely depressed because in 2013 I had a house fire. I mentioned to you I have a wife and 3 kids. Well, guess what? We were all in the house. It was a Friday night, late 2013. I get up to have, you know, remember I was heavier in the old days. So I got up around midnight to have a meeting with Ben and Jerry. So my wife and kids are asleep. I go to the kitchen. I take out my chunky monkey and I'm like, oh, that didn't sound that good. Well, the ice cream chunky monkey. Anyway, so then I, as a typical guy would do, I look out the sliding glass door in the back, you know, to look at the backyard, because that's just what guys do. I mean, like, a woman would never go and start looking out the window at midnight. I don't know, that's what guys do. So I look out the window, and the back third of my house is engulfed in flames. We live in Castle Hills, not too far from here, Blanco and Luke Fortet. And I panic, so I go and find my phone, I turn it on, I'm dialing 911, I wake my wife up, and the smoke alarms are not going off because the fire is in the back of the house, but it's traveling through the attic and through the roof because even though we had a shingle roof, and I don't want this to be a roofing lesson, but that's the, you know, the kind of little ugly colored regular roof, but underneath that was a cedar shake roof. So if you know who's in real estate will tell you, and Jonathan also, cedar shake is now illegal because it's so highly flammable. So the people that I bought my house from decided to save some money and just put shingle on top of cedar shake. So this stuff was starting to catch on fire and it was starting to travel towards the house. So my wife gets the kids up. Our front door is dead bolted and we can't find the key because it's dead bolted from the inside. So we have to go out to the side of the house. The side of the house is where the garage is. And about 5 minutes after my wife and kids get out from the side of the house, and me included, one of my cars explodes, starts catching everything on fire. The rest of the cars catch on fire. I had, you know, a little car collection, and the roof of the house starts to collapse. So I thought that 5 minutes was a good, you know, amount of time, but according to the fire chief, said that had I not gotten a visual on the fire, he said we wouldn't be standing here having the conversation. So then if I define success with just my material possessions, I should be extremely depressed because I lost everything that night that was material. What didn't I lose? I didn't lose my wife, I didn't lose my kids, I didn't lose my goals and dreams and aspirations and passion and my ability to make a difference in the nonprofit world, and I do a lot of nonprofit work. So I could tell you that I wasn't even depressed for an hour. I was startled, I was stunned, I had post-traumatic stress disorder. I couldn't go to sleep for a couple of days just because I kept playing the fire in my head, and I kept playing like, what would have happened had I not gotten a visual on the fire. But it changed a lot of things for me, but all for the positive. We got a chance to rebuild the house, we made it bigger and better, kind of like the $6 million man, you know, came back a lot stronger. But it didn't change much of anything. I mean, there are so many things that you could look at and certainly use as an excuse in your life to say, well, this is why I haven't achieved what I wanted to do, because I was adopted, because I was abused, because I had a house fire and I lost everything, because I went bankrupt, because there are plenty of great reasons. What I will tell you ultimately is that nobody really cares. Nobody cares what the reason is. The only one who suffers is you if you don't achieve your dreams. We all have, I love the name Dreamweek, but it should be Dream Life. Ultimately, if you don't have in your head what you'd like to achieve in a clear way, you will never get it. But I can tell you that everybody has every single resource available to them right now to achieve what they want. Look up Oprah Winfrey's story. Young black girl, physically, verbally, and mentally abused growing up, put up for adoption. I think she lived in a home for children, dirt poor in the rural South, at a time when there was a lot of discrimination, and she grows up to become, a billionaire media mogul who's a great example for people all over the world. So you could use it definitely as an excuse, definitely as a crutch, and you'd have a legit reason. We all have things that have happened in our lives of why we can't achieve our dreams. But then you have the other people that don't pay attention to the excuses. They're focused, they know exactly what they want, and they go out and achieve it. I don't have the formula for that because I don't even know what your own dreams are and should be. I just know that you can each achieve them. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So it does take some hard work and some perseverance, but you accept nothing else. I'll tell you a cool little story. I'll end with a short story about success, okay? There's this guy who's pretty successful, among all his buddies. Everybody goes, man, that guy is successful. So one of his other friends decides, I'd like to be successful, My life sucks, my apartment sucks, my TV sucks, my job sucks, my car sucks. This guy seems to have everything. I'm going to go ask him how to become successful because I'm just going to do it once and for all. So he goes up to his buddy and says, hey, you're successful. He goes, well, thank you, man. I appreciate the compliment. And he goes, I'd like to be successful. What do I need to do? He says, well, I don't know how you define success. But he goes, no, I'd like to have all the stuff you have. And he says, well, but I do one thing for a living, you do something else. He goes, well, I don't, I hate my job, I hate this. He tells him the whole. He says, well, look, the successful buddy says, I don't know how to help you become successful, but I do know somebody that could help you. He's known as the guru of success. Just don't judge the guy, because, he's a little bit odd, but everybody goes to this guy. He's a guru, okay? And he can help you with success. He says, okay, great. He goes, give me the guy's number. Calls him up, and he says, hey, guru, my buddy says you can help me become successful, man, and I need that quick fix because I'm ready. I'm going to be successful, so just tell me what I need to do. And he says, well, if you want to be successful, you got to come see me. He says, man, I don't feel like driving all the way over wherever you are, but you mind just giving me like the rundown? And he says, if you want to be successful, you'll meet me tomorrow morning at the beach at 4 o'clock in the morning. He says, no, hold on. Hey, buddy, listen, I'm not going swimming. I don't want to go to the... He goes, tomorrow, 4 a.m. at the beach, hangs up. So the guy's thinking, like, oh my God, what a weirdo. So he calls his buddy up. He goes, hey, man, your guru guy, he wants me to meet him at the beach. He goes, look, guy knows what he's talking about. If I were you, I'd show up. So that next morning, it's freezing, kind of like here, and bundles up, he gets to the beach, he goes, oh, I gotta hope this guy doesn't kill me, it's pitch black out there, I don't even know who I'm supposed to meet, and sure enough, there's this guru, and he's waiting for him at the beach. So he walks up and he goes, hey man, he goes, I'm not sure why you wanted me to meet you here in the middle of the night, 4 o'clock in the morning, but he says, did you write out the formula for success, or what are you gonna give me, because I gotta get out of here, it's freezing, man, I wanna go back to bed. And he says, you wanna be successful? He says, yeah, absolutely, dude. And he says, get in the water. He says, no. I didn't bring a bathing suit, I'm freezing, there's no way. And he goes, if you want to be successful, you'll get in the water. So the guru steps in to about his knees. So the guy's thinking like, okay, I already got up. I already came all the way over here. According to my friend, this is the guy. He says, fine. So he takes off his shoes, he takes off his socks, he rolls up his pants, he doesn't want to get anything wet. He gets up to his knees, he goes, okay, formula for success, please. And the guru says, get in a little deeper. And he says, look, man. He goes, I already heard you were kind of weird, so I don't want to, I don't want to get wet, man. These are my new pants. Please, if there's anything you can do, just give me the formula for success. Let me get out of here. I'll get out of your hair. You can go at breakfast. If you want me, I'll pay you. But he goes, get in up to your waist. So the guru walks up to his waist. The guy follows him. Now he's soaking wet. He's starting to shiver. And he's like, man, it is freezing. Please, I'm begging you, man. I get it, okay? To be successful, you have to get in the water. I got it. Let's go. He says, get in deeper. He says, I'm not going to do it. He says, then you don't want to be successful. And he goes, I do want to be successful. And he goes, get in up to your neck. So the guru walks further, and he's now up to his neck. The guy gets in up to his neck, and the guru gets behind him and grabs him by the head in a headlock and pulls him underwater. So the guy's like shivering, kicking, trying to hit the guru. He's starting to gasp for air. He's underwater, and he finally goes just limp, you know? The guru pulls him out. The guy takes a deep breath, starts coughing up water. The guru drags him and lays him on the beach. The guy's coughing up all this water. He's like yelling all kinds of obscenities. And he goes, what is wrong with you? He goes, you almost killed me. And the guru says, hey, he goes, what were you thinking about when you were underwater? And he goes, what do you mean, what was I thinking about? When I started thinking you were a nut, I thought you were going to kill me. He goes, but what did you want? And he says, what a stupid question. I wanted to breathe. And he goes, what else did you want? He goes, that's it. All I wanted to do was breathe. And he says, when you want to succeed as badly as you wanted to breathe is when you'll be successful. If you really want something, don't accept anything less. Do everything, including all the hard stuff, including the things you don't want to do, and you will achieve what you have in your head. Oh, there's my time. Thank you all very much. I'm Howie Nestel. Jonathan?